Today we're going to talk about 9.4 volume of prisms and cylinders. Volume, by definition, is the measurement of the amount of space that an object takes up, and it will be measured in cubic units. What that means is the unit will have an exponent of 3. For example, it'll be feet cubed. And we're trying to figure out how many cubes would fit in that object. The formula to find the volume of a cylinder is located on the Chapter 9 formula sheet. It's V equals BH. And B stands for, it's a capital B, the area of the base shape. So you're going to be plugging in an area formula into capital B. Cursive H, or italicized H, is the height of the prism or cylinder, and this is the distance between bases. All right, so let's take a look at number 1. Find the volume of the following figures. The first thing I like to do is I like to figure out what shapes are in it, so I know, is it a prism or is it a pyramid. So when I look at this first shape, I have 2 circles, one on the top and one on the bottom, and I have this rectangle in the middle. And what I do is the one with 2 is the base shape. So the base shape here is a circle. This is a cylinder. All right, to find the volume, the formula is V equals capital B times that cursive H. And your first step is going to be to replace this capital B with the formula for that base. So our base is a circle, because again we have 2 of those. So the formula for area of a circle, if you look at your formula sheet, is pi r squared. And then this h will be the distance between the circles. We're going to substitute our values. Pi is 3.14. We need the radius. This 12 is all the way across, so the radius is half of that, so that's 6 squared. And the height is the distance between the circles. That's going to be 6.5. And you're going to type that into your calculator exactly as written. And we're going to get 734.76 centimeters cubed. And that's the answer. Number 2. Again, I like to count all the shapes that are in here. And when I look at this figure, I see that there are 6 squares. 6 squares make up a cube. Since they're all the same, we know that the square has to be the base. So V equals capital B times cursive H. Again, my first step here is to replace this capital B with the formula for the area of my shape. So it's a square. That's S squared. And then we're going to plug in our numbers. The sides of the square are 4. And the height, or the distance between the 2 squares, is also 4. And we'll type that into our calculator, and we're going to get 64 cubic feet. All right, number 3. Number 3, I'm going to count my shapes again. And it looks like I have 6 rectangles. This is a rectangular prism. Now I have to pick one that is going to serve as my base shape. Again, with a cube, they were all the same, so it didn't matter which one I pick. Here I do have to pick one. It doesn't matter which one you pick. I'm going to pick the one where I can see the two dimensions very clearly, so I'm going to pick this one and I'm going to color it in for you. Again, to find the volume, V equals capital B times cursive H. And we have rectangles, so my formula for a rectangle is length times width. And then I get the height. And I'm going to plug in my numbers for the rectangle. I use 4 and 3. And the height would be the distance between the two rectangles that we're saying are the bases, so that would be the parallel ones. And the distance in between is 8. For a rectangular prism, just make sure you use all 3 of the numbers and you'll get it right. And then when I multiply this, I'm going to get 96 meters cubed. Alright, these are the hard shapes. These are the ones that are more difficult to find. So again, the first thing that I want to do is I want to count what I have. So in this shape, I have 2 triangles. And I have 3 rectangles. The one with 2 is going to be your base shape. So this is a triangular. And because the sides are rectangles, that makes this a prism. I'm going to color in the triangle just so I have it, so I know what I'm using for my base. And the formula is, again, V equals capital B times cursive H. And the one with 2 is your base. So I'm going to plug in the triangle formula, 1/2 base times height, and then the cursive H. Don't forget that there's going to be 2 H's sometimes. They mean different things. 1/2. My triangle only, the base is 8 and the height is 6. And this cursive H again is the distance in between. So from this triangle to this triangle, the distance in between is 15. What makes this shape harder is you're not going to use all the numbers. I'm going to plug that into my calculator, and I am going to get 360 millimeters cubed. Number 5. Again, I start off by counting my shapes. And I have 2 triangles. And I have 1, 2, 3 rectangles. This is a similar shape to the last one where I had 2 triangles and 3 rectangles. It too is a triangular prism. Triangle has to be my base because it's whatever there is 2 of will be your base. So I'm going to go ahead and color that in. Now I'm going to color the back one here because that's where all the numbers are that I need. So I'm going to go ahead and color that one in so I kind of can see it better when I go to plug in my numbers. V equals capital B times cursive H. Again, I'm going to plug in that B. Formula for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Then I have the height of the prism. To find the base and the height of the triangle, again, we want this right angle. The right angle is going to give it away, so the height's going to be 7. The base is going to be this bottom number, which isn't written in the one that I shaded in, but it is parallel to this, so I know it's 16, so it'll be 16 and 7. And this H here is the distance between the triangles, and that would be 21. And plug that into your calculator. 1,176 cubic centimeters. Number 6. Again, I want to count my shapes. This has a trapezoid in the front and in the back, so there's 2 trapezoids. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles. This is a trapezoidal prism. I'm going to color in my trapezoid. Again, the one in the back has all the numbers, so that's one I'm going to kind of color in so I can see it. V equals capital B times cursive H. Again, the one with 2 is your base shape, so I need to plug in the trapezoid formula for capital B. It's 1/2 H parenthesis B1 plus B2 close parenthesis times the cursive H. Now take your time on the trapezoid, a lot of numbers. The height of the trapezoid is 5. The bases are the parallel sides, so I have this one down here. Again, there's no number there, so I have to kind of look in front, and it's going to be 12. The top is 6. And then cursive H is the distance in between the trapezoids, and that's going to be 9. Now when you type this into your calculator, be careful. You want to make sure you put the parentheses in there so the calculator will do the order of operations. This one is 405 cubic inches. A movie theater designs 2 bags that hold 96 cubic inches of popcorn. The first bag is has a rectangular base with dimensions of 4 by 3. The second bag has a square base of sides with 4 inches. Find the height of each bag. Again, when you're doing word problems, the first thing you want to figure out is what are you trying to find, and there is no word in here, but we do have the unit inches cubed that indicates volume. So we're going to do 2 bags here. The first bag and this in the second bag. And for both of them, we're going to be finding volume. Or using volume. We're not finding volume, we're using it. Alright, the first bag, we'll do that one first. It has a rectangular base, so that means I need to use the rectangular formula for capital B, so that'll be length times width. And I'm going to plug in my numbers. So the rectangular base is 4 by 3. And we're going to be finding the height. So x is going to be the height, which means in the problem I had to give you the volume, and I did. The volume was 96. And you're going to solve this equation. 96 equals 4 times 3 is 12, 12x. Divide by 12. X is going to equal 8 inches. Why don't you pause the video and go ahead and try the second one. This one has a square base. Plug in the square formula and let's see what you get for the height. Okay, so hopefully you plugged in s squared for the base and the sides were 4. Well, again, we're finding the height and the volume was the same. It was 96. And simplify, you get 16x equals 96. Divide by 16, you get 6 inches is your height. We are not going to do the bottom part of this. I just want to make sure that you can use the formula to find one of the missing pieces when given the volume, because I think you're going to see that on your quiz. Hint, hint. That's it for today. If you have any questions, please reach out. And you have some problems that I'm going to have you guys do on a worksheet today. All right, have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon.